Tesla caught fire in their garage. A Nest camera captured the moment that the fire started, which eventually grew and burned down their entire home. The family says the Tesla Model X Plaid was parked in the garage during the storm, not plugged in, and elevated off the ground.
Tesla is investigating this fiery explosion in Shanghai. It appears to show a Model S bursting into flames in a parking lot in that city. No injury.
Okay, so Tesla, right? I feel like everyone's heard of Tesla at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Those electric cars, the whole sustainable energy thing, even Elon Musk's, Twitter.
Yeah, very prominent.
It's like they're everywhere. But it hasn't always been smooth sailing for Tesla.
Right.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of take a deep dive into what's going on with Tesla and this, kind of shift we're seing with how consumers are feeling about the company.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a complex issue. I mean, you have to think back to when Tesla first burst onto the scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it was remarkable. They completely changed how we thought about electric cars.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just about being eco-friendly anymore. They were, sleek, they were high performance, they were desirable.
They were suddenly cool, right?
Yeah, exactly. Remember when the Model S came out back in 2012?
Yeah.
It was a total game changer.
I mean, it was luxury and performance and sustainability all wrapped up in one package.
Yeah, exactly. And then, came the Model 3, which was aimed at a wider market, and then the Model X and Y, the SUVs.
Right. It was Tesla's everywhere. Everyone was talking about them.
It was definitely a moment, right? And, I think Musk's vision of a sustainable future really resonated with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, as Tesla started to grow, there were these concerns that started to pop up about their practices. You started hearing about these alleged supplier controversies.
Oh, right.
Where some suppliers claimed that Tesla wasn't treating them fairly. And then there were customer complaints about production quality.
Like what kind of things?
Oh, things like inconsistent panel gaps or paint issues.
So it's not just about the big picture stuff, but also the day-to-day details of the cars themselves.
Exactly.
And it wasn't just a few isolated incidents. Yeah. I mean, you started seeing all these stories online. I remember that one about the Model 3 owner whose glass roof detached on the highway.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was pretty scary.
Yeah, and stuff like that definitely got people talking. And I think it sort of fed into this growing sense of unease, among some consumers, this feeling that maybe Tesla was prioritizing rapid innovation over things like consistent quality or customer satisfaction. And it wasn't just, anecdotal either.
Right. It's when you start looking at the sales figures,
right,
especially in those key markets like China and Europe, you see a pretty noticeable decline, which to me, that kind of suggests that this shift in how people are perceiving Tesla, it's having a real impact. It's not just a little blip on the radar.
Yeah, it's a trend. It's a trend.
It's a trend that's definitely raising questions about Tesla's long-term prospects. What do you think's behind this sales decline?
Well, I think one factor is that, those early adopters, the people who are really eager to, embrace this new technology, embrace Tesla's mission, they've that market's been tapped, Right. Now the market's reaching this broader range of consumers, people who might have different priorities.
So you're saying the early adopters might have been okay with a few hiccups here and there.
Yeah, more forgiving.
But now your average car buyer probably wants something a little more polished.
Yeah, more reliable.
Reliable.
Especially, at the price point of a Tesla.
Right.
It's a big investment. And this shift in the target market, it kind of coincides with the rise of all these new competitors in the EV space.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's not just Tesla anymore.
Yeah, right. We've got companies like Rivian making these rugged electric trucks and SUVs, appealing to, a different kind of buyer.
Yeah.
And then there's Lucid, right?
Oh, yeah, Lucid.
Focusing on luxury and performance. They're even surpassing Tesla in some of the benchmarks. It feels like these competitors are really capitalizing on some of Tesla's, vulnerabilities.
Yeah, it's they're looking at where Tesla might be, struggling a little bit, and they're saying, okay, we can offer something different.
Right. They're positioning themselves to appeal to those consumers who are looking for those alternatives,
Yeah.
They're emphasizing reliability, they're emphasizing build quality.
Right.
And a more traditional approach to customer service. those are the areas where Tesla has, faced some criticism.
Makes sense.
And we can't forget about the traditional automakers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're getting in on the game now.
They're jumping into the EV market big time.
Big time, yeah. Leveraging, their decades of manufacturing experience, their established customer service networks.
Yeah, so the whole landscape's just changing so rapidly. And I think it's interesting because it seems like consumer preferences are evolving too.
Right.
Like, yeah, sustainability is still super important.
Of course.
But people aren't willing to compromise on, like, reliability or affordability.
Right.
It's like they want a car that's, fits their lifestyle, it's dependable, and it doesn't break the bank. What do you think about how all these evolving preferences are, like, impacting the whole EV market?
It's really interesting because, like you said, the EV market is maturing.
Yeah.
And consumers are becoming more discerning. I think, like, early on, the novelty of it, the eco-friendly aspect, that was enough to drive sales.
Right.
But now people are, like, expecting more.
Yeah.
They want the whole package.
Yeah.
They want sustainability and performance and reliability and a competitive price.
So it's not just about being green anymore.
Right.
It's like, you got to have it all.
You got to have it all.
And that's where Tesla needs to adapt, right?
Yeah.
They can't just rely on being the first or being the coolest anymore.
Exactly. The market is getting more sophisticated, and Tesla needs to evolve to meet these new demands.
Yeah, it's almost like this whole Tesla situation is, like, wrapped up in something bigger. Like, we're seeing a shift in how we view brands, how we interact with technology, how much power we give to social media.
Oh, absolutely. You've hit on a key point. Like, the way information spreads, how narratives are formed, it's completely different now.
Yeah.
A single tweet, a viral video, a discussion on some online forum, it can just, like, rapidly shape public perception.
Right.
And that can influence everything from purchasing decisions to, like, stock prices.
It's crazy. And Tesla, I mean, with Musk being so, outspoken and having this, like, really passionate fan base, they've always been in the spotlight.
Right.
And that kind of online scrutiny, I mean, that can be good and bad.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Like, it gives them a platform to communicate directly with their audience, to cultivate this loyal following, but it also makes them incredibly vulnerable to negative sentiment and these, like, really rapid shifts in public opinion. Like, one misstep can just blow up into a huge PR crisis.
Totally. It's this weird tension, right, between a company trying to, like, control their image and the forces of, like, the media and public opinion that are kind of, like, beyond their control.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, how much influence a brand like Tesla really has over their narrative in this, like, digital age.
Right. It's like, do they actually have any control, or is it all just, like, this whirlwind?
It's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
How do you navigate this constantly shifting landscape where information is just, like, flying around at light speed and everyone has a voice?
Right. It's a challenge for a lot of companies, but it feels especially intense for Tesla.
Yeah, for sure.
Just given their, unique position and Musk's personality. Let's dive a little deeper into, like, how media coverage and social media specifically have kind of shaped the story around Tesla.
It's funny when you think about it, like, how the media's covered Tesla. It's really changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been pretty wild to watch.
I mean, at first, right, it was all, like, sunshine and roses.
Yeah.
Everyone was so excited about this, like, innovative company, like, pushing the boundaries.
Right. It was the mission, saving the planet.
And Elon. Of course, Elon.
Larger than life.
Right. But then as Tesla got bigger, more prominent, the scrutiny got a lot more intense.
Yeah, for sure.
And you started seeing all these, like, negative stories popping up.
Right, about the quality control stuff.
The customer service complaints.
And, like, Musk's tweets.
Oh, yeah. All over the place.
It's like the media kind of smelled blood, I guess.
It's interesting, though, right? Because the media, it's not like one big thing.
Right.
You got outlets with different, leanings, audiences, priorities, and all.
Yeah, some were all about those negative stories, like jumping right on them.
Yeah, amplifying everything.
Yeah, but others were, like, more supportive.
Yeah.
They focused on the innovation and Tesla's impact on the whole EV market.
It's true. It's like looking at the same thing through totally different lenses, right?
Yeah, you get a different picture depending on which way you're looking at it.
Exactly. And then you add social media to the mix.
Oh, yeah?
Another layer, right?
Another layer of crazy.
Social media is so powerful now for shaping public opinion.
Right.
And Tesla's been right at the center of it all.
Yeah, think about like all the hashtags.
Oh yeah, like Tesla problems, or even worse, they create these echo chambers online where like any negative experience, it just gets amplified and spreads like wildfire.
Yeah, it's hard to know what's real and what's just people piling on.
It's a nightmare for any brand to try and manage that kind of environment.
So how has Tesla handled all of this, like the media shift, the social media stuff? Have they tried to control the story?
Well, their PR strategy, it's always been kind of different, hasn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Less traditional media, more direct communication with customers and fans.
Right, mostly through Elon's Twitter.
Exactly, which, can be a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, double-edged sword.
They bypass the media gatekeepers and connect directly with people.
Right, address concerns, debunk rumors, get people hyped about new stuff.
Yeah, but it also puts them out there,
Yeah, one tweet can blow up in their face.
Controversy headlines, stock prices all over the place.
It's a risky game.
High risk, high reward.
I wonder, though, if that style of communication, like as Tesla gets bigger,
Yeah.
if it's going to be sustainable,
Right.
as they face more challenges.
Maybe they need a more, nuanced approach.
Right.
Maybe relying on just one person's Twitter isn't the best long-term strategy.
So we've talked about this backlash, the competition, the social media shaping the narrative.
Yeah.
The big question is, what does it all mean for Tesla's future? Can they bounce back and stay on top?
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tough to predict, for sure, but, we can look at the data, analyze the trends. This negative sentiment, the competition, it could all have a big impact on Tesla's brand and market share, especially long-term.
So you're saying if people start thinking of Tesla as less reliable or less customer-focused,
Yeah.
that could push people towards the competitors who are doing those things better.
Exactly. Consumers have so many choices now.
Right.
If Tesla isn't meeting their needs or living up to their values, people will go elsewhere.
And then there's the stock, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tesla's stock has always been kind of crazy up and down.
Speculation, confidence, all that.
Do you think all this is going to affect investor confidence?
Well, stock prices usually reflect future expectations.
Right.
So if investors start doubting Tesla's ability to keep growing and overcome these challenges, we could see the stock drop.
Makes sense.
It's a wait-and-see game at this point.
But hey, Tesla's still got some big advantages, right?
Oh, for sure.
Brand recognition, loyal customers, a head start in tech and infrastructure.
They've built an amazing company in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But they can't just coast on past successes.
Right. They got to keep moving.
Adapt, innovate, face these problems head on.
It's like they're at a crossroads.
Yeah, big time.
They could stay a major force or fade away.
And this whole situation, it affects the whole EV market, too.
Yeah, how so?
Well, Tesla's struggles could make people hesitant about EVs in general.
Right.
Especially if those negative perceptions about reliability and customer service stick around.
I see what you mean. If people start associating those problems with all EVs,
Yeah.
it could slow down adoption.
And that's not good for the environment or our efforts to, fight climate change.
So Tesla's problems could actually hurt the whole push for sustainable transportation.
Potentially, yeah. But there's also a chance for a positive outcome.
Okay, how so?
Well, all this competition and scrutiny, it could force the entire industry to up its game.
Right.
It could push all EV makers to prioritize quality, reliability, customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
And that would lead to better products and a stronger market overall.
So Tesla's challenges could actually end up being a good thing for the EV sector.
It's possible competition often leads to innovation and improvement.
So where do we go from here? Will this force Tesla to change and get better? Or will it clear the way for new EV companies to take over?
Only time will tell, I guess, but one thing's for sure, the EV landscape is changing fast.
Yeah.
Tesla can't afford to sit back and relax. They need to keep adapting and innovating to stay ahead.
It's a really exciting time to be following the EV market.
Yeah, tons of potential, but also a lot of uncertainty.
So we've covered a lot in this deep dive: the rise of Tesla, the backlash, the competition, the impact on the whole EV market. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question. It really makes you think, when we look at all this stuff with Tesla, what really matters to you as a car buyer? I mean, is it the tech, the sustainability, the reliability, the price? Like, how do those things shape how you see not just Tesla, but any car company in this EV space?
It's such a good question. It kind of gets to the core of how these consumer preferences are shifting. Like, you think back to those early days.
Yeah.
And how Tesla's whole, cutting-edge tech and their mission-driven approach,
Yeah.
it really resonated with a certain type of buyer.
Those early adopters, right? They were willing to put up with some of the issues.
Right, because they believed in the bigger picture.
The vision, yeah.
Sustainable future electric cars, all that.
Exactly. But now as the market grows, those expectations, they're changing, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. Those newer buyers, they might not be so forgiving.
Right. They're like, okay, cool. Sustainability, but
Yeah, but does it work?
does it work? Is it going to fall apart on the highway?
Right, and can I afford it?
Exactly. It's not just about saving the planet anymore.
It's about the whole package.
Yeah, it's a balancing act for these car companies.
It really is. I mean, Tesla's early success, it was partly because they captured people's imaginations, right? They made electric cars cool, they made them aspirational.
Sure.
But now the challenge is to scale up
Right.
and maintain that same level of quality and keep those customers happy.
It's like they went from being the disruptor to becoming part of the establishment.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it.
And with that comes a whole new set of expectations.
Definitely. As they become more mainstream, they got to show that they can handle the demands of a much bigger market.
A market that's not going to be as patient with the hiccups.
Right, those growing pains.
Okay, so what can Tesla do? What are some things we've learned from this deep dive that might help them navigate all of this?
Well, I think first and foremost, they got to prioritize quality and reliability.
Yeah, fix those issues.
Those production inconsistencies, customer service complaints, those
Yeah.
got to be top priority.
Build that reputation for solid cars.
Yeah, especially now that there's so much competition.
Okay, so quality control number one. What else?
Communication, I think they need to rethink how they're talking to the public.
Right.
Elon's style. It's worked so far, but
Right.
it might not be the best long-term play.
Maybe a little more measured, a little more strategic.
Yeah, a little more caution wouldn't hurt.
Right. Balance that transparency with some,
Yeah, a bit more thoughtfulness.
Okay, so quality communication. Anything else?
Innovation, they got to keep innovating, but in a way that meets the needs of a wider audience.
Right. Not just the early adopters.
Sustainability is still huge, but it can't be the only thing they're selling.
People want all the performance, the range, the reliability of the features, and a price that makes sense.
Exactly. They got to show they can deliver on all those fronts.
Also, those are some big takeaways for Tesla as we wrap up this deep dive. It's clear they're at a crucial point facing some serious challenges, but also some real opportunities. The choices they make now will shape not only their future, but maybe the future of the entire EV industry. So keep thinking about these issues, keep exploring this topic, and thanks for joining us on this deep dive.